I think one of the topics that you wanted to get to was Gradey
Hmm.
versus Jordan Hawkins, drafted 13th for Gradey, drafted 14th for Jordan Hawkins. Jordan Hawkins obviously has already had some big 30-point games, but Grady's coming on strong now, and now it's more of a debate. So we have like the most. You were like probably the most optimistic Grady.
I had
Grady had.
scouts telling me he was gas, and like he's been pretty great. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do like the conversation about who is shooter supreme
yeah. Mm.
out of this draft class so far. And Dan, I kind of want to swing it to you off the start because I know you are Grady curious, and I know you are very
Grady
Pelicans
curious.
curious. Yeah. So I just want to get your official take on it because I'm biased over here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, so anyone who knows me knows I appreciate scalability of shooting, and
Mm.
when I watch what Grady Dick does on the court, he feels a lot more scalable. And look, the sample size is so small for both these guys technically at this point. What he does feels so much more translatable, and he doesn't seem to, especially when you're this new, try to play outside what they actually need him to do. Where Jordan Hawkins feels like he will freelance a little bit more, which isn't necessarily what the Pelicans need from him. And I think that's a huge difference between the two. And maybe it's also a function of sometimes the Pelicans offense, just looking at the way they play, you're not going to generate Hawkins as many easy shots. But from what we've seen from Grady lately, I really appreciate that scalability of his shooting, where there's like not a, I don't want to call it a simplicity to it, but he's not necessarily going to deviate from what works. And so I think right now, I don't want to say it's not even close, but just the tear that Grady Dick is on, I think this is someone you look at, and even just kind of looking at him defensively. Like he's not great,
Hmm.
but he's big and he knows it. I think that's going to end up being a big deal long term, and so I would expect him to pan out as the more impactful NBA player.
And just to provide some background for people who are wondering about like the Grady versus Hawkins thing, Hawkins probably the most accomplished collegiate shooter since like Sam Hauser at Virginia. And a lot of what Hawkins did at Connecticut was like the whole offense was built around getting to his shot.
Mm.
And I think you can see some of that with the Pelicans. Like Hawkins, volume is really important as the 3-point shooter. He's shooting a little bit worse percentage wise, but he takes like almost 50% of his threes come above the break.
Hmm.
He takes more tightly contested threes. He takes harder 3-pointer shots than Grady right now. And Grady is quietly, with the rest of his game, I think exceeded what Hawkins has done in his rookie season. But I think as shooters right now, I think Hawkins at almost 2 years older is probably the more accomplished shooter.
Mm.
But I think, and I talked to Shamit Dua, who is,
Mhm.
he does great coverage on the Pelicans prior to this season. And it was like, I was like, oh, the Raptors drafted Grady. You guys drafted, Jordan. Who do you think's better? And he was like, Grady's better. He's a better overall player.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
so
Okay.
shooter supreme is maybe leaning one way, but as far as like the player overall, I think it leans towards Grady.
So, Dan, you're talking about the scalability of what Grady does. Okay, what is that like? For a more novice audience. Not to say that this is necessarily a novice audience, but I'm just curious. Like, what do you mean by that, and what do you see in Grady
Yeah, my
that gives you that
grandma's
sense?
watching.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
To
think
my
Tell
grandma.
Samson's grandma. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about, man?
Samson kind of just touched on it when you're talking about what was built around Jordan Hawkins in college, and you can see the elements of
Mhm.
his freelancing. Where if you plug him on to any other team, maybe they try and play him differently, but will he be as effective? And I think the way that Grady Dick is playing right now, you could put him on any NBA team. Maybe the quality of 3-point looks goes down and we see the efficiency kind of suffer. But the stuff he's doing in terms of like the spatial awareness of getting to the corners,
Mhm.
Jordan Hawkins he seems to want to do more. And even just like when Grady Dick does, I think it was the Warriors game, but I think was one of his just better outings. It was the fourth quarter. He's on the weak side and he's able to like pump fake out of the three, drive and hit a fadeaway over Moses Moody. Stuff like that, like attacking those closeouts, but being more situational about it, to where Jordan Hawkins feels like if he's in that situation, maybe he takes the three, but is he going to kind of like take a fadeaway mid range jumper or turnaround and kind of up the level of difficulty? And so I think when you're a shooter, especially as a rookie, your job is to come in and impact the game without necessarily making it seem like your team is playing a lot differently. Like you might change the spacing and the stuff that Grady does. I think, as I said, with scalability, I always frame it as, can I put him on 25 plus other teams
Mm.
and the same stuff is going to unfold? And I think the way he's playing right now lends itself to that more than Hawkins.